What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction video, and in this one we have Goodbye Sweden. What triggered the great Indian exodus from the Scandinavian nation? What's going on? Indians fleeing Sweden? Before we jump in and find out why, if you guys would like to support the channel by becoming a member, all you gotta do is hit that join button and you receive exclusive benefits that I know you guys would enjoy. But let's find out what's going on in Sweden.
This recent report, published in The Local, gained a lot of traction on social media. Indians, instead of going to Sweden, are moving out. But why? Wasn't Sweden the social democratic utopia those looking to settle abroad wanted to move to? Sweden represented a third way, which had combined growth traits of a capitalist economy and the benevolence of a welfare state. And this, combined with Sweden's liberal migration policy, made it a country which saw hundreds of thousands of immigrants from Iraq, Somalia, and several other war-torn countries move to Sweden. A haven for refugees, a liberal paradise. But that's changing, and changing fast. Hello and welcome, you're watching The Mint, and I'm Abhishek Singh. In this video, we will find out the answer to two important questions. Why Indians in particular are choosing to leave Sweden. And the bigger picture. Because it's not just the Indians who are leaving. Syrians, Iraqis, and even the Chinese are leaving. First up, let's try to understand why the Indians are either coming back to India or leaving Sweden for other European countries or the US. As of 2022, as many as 50,000 Indians were living in Sweden. The number of Indians moving to Sweden has been greater than the number of Indians moving out for the last 2 decades, year after year. But as per the Local's report, for the first time since records began, more Indians are leaving than moving to Sweden. In fact, the number of Indians who left Sweden this year makes them the largest group of immigrated foreigners in the first half of the year to move out. A total of 2,837 Indians left Sweden between January and June, a 171% increase on the same period last year.
Yeah, something's definitely happening in Sweden right now. And I've kind of reacted to some videos on Sweden on them cracking down on immigration. So I don't know if that has anything to do with this, but I guess he's about to answer it, so we're gonna know anyway. But shit, 171% increase from the previous year. You know, there's definitely something going on in Sweden.
Which makes Indians, by a large margin, the biggest group of immigrated foreigners, followed by people born in Iraq, China, and Syria. Ankur Tyagi, a software engineer who moved to Sweden 4 years ago, feels Sweden is not for everyone. His post on Twitter about Indians leaving Sweden for various reasons crossed 300,000 views.
And I would say it's not exactly the reverse migration, but it's something individual choice, to be honest. But in the post itself, I mentioned a couple of 10 pointers. So as an Indian, we are very close to our family ties, and so we miss family. It's all individual decisions. Some people come and go within a year or 6 months, and some people try to adjust and try to relearn or unlearn, basically.
Interestingly, another factor which Ankur also alluded to is the availability of better opportunities elsewhere, including back in India.
One of my friend last year, he also left. He was a good friend. I will take his example, to be honest. And his main point was he was not happy being an ambitious person. The group kind of a growth we have in India, kind of opportunities you have, there is a well groomed startup ecosystem in Bangalore and in Pune as well. But here things are moving very generous pace, not very fast, not very slow. So if you are very ambitious, so you feel sometimes stuck in that pace. So you don't have much freedom to do what you want, because as you go up in the ladder, so you have to pay a lot of taxes.
Now migrants, including...
So you said, so one of his friends' examples for leaving was that there were more opportunity in India or elsewhere, and where India's economy is rising fast, and you do see a number of startups in India that are rising very quickly. I'm not sure how it is in Sweden, but his friend, he said it moves at a generous pace, and I guess I would say more steady pace in terms of rising, where it's not going up fast, not going down fast, but it's not going up fast. It's just kind of a steady rise, as we're saying in India, that rise can be very quickly. And so, if you're an ambitious person or seeking more opportunities, then Sweden just may not be the place for you, is what I heard from that.
Indians may have their own reasons to move out. But for decade-long established trends to change, there have to be some other factors at play.
Yeah,
and there are.
Gang wars and shootings have kept Sweden on tenterhooks for years. The situation is getting increasingly brutal.
Some say the rise of violence in recent years shows that integration has failed in Rinkeby.
As per some, what has changed is the attitude of the Swedes, which in part is a result of increase in crime, gun violence, riots. In fact, present-day Sweden carries the dubious distinction of having the highest rate of gangland killings in Europe. The average age of serious offenders in Sweden is the lowest across Europe. In a lot of cases, children in their low teens are being arrested for crimes like murders. More and more suburbs are being officially classified, especially vulnerable areas where it is hard, bordering on impossible for the police to operate. You know, a kind of a no-go zone. In fact, if you want to find out how serious this problem is, look at this clip of the 60 Minutes crew being violently attacked in what's called the Little Mogadishu in Sweden.
Oh my God.
Since mostly Somali migrants live there.
Go on! Whoops! Nej men vad fan!
Hey.
Go on!
Now that clip is 8 years old.
A 60 Minutes crew being attacked in Sweden. I've seen videos about the gang wars, about the no-go zones, about the crime rise in Sweden, and that's why Sweden is kind of changing their tune on immigration and saying no more immigrants, like, because of all these things are happening, and they don't know how to integrate all these people well. And then you have some people who don't even want to integrate. And outside of the crime and everything, there's just so many immigrants that have came over, and Sweden as a country can't support that many people. It's just not capable. And so you have that. But yeah, if it was that scary, bro, because that just looked absolutely awful. He said the lowest age of serial crimes across Europe, when you got kids in their early teens committing murders and crimes like this, yeah, like, I would want to go. I got to get up out of there. Time to roll. But just looking at those scenes that were depicted in this video, my days. That's scary. That's scary.
But if you want to find out how serious the problem is, just go on YouTube and other social media platforms and type no-go zones in Sweden, and you would come across dozens of such videos.
Swedish content.
Less than a decade ago, Sweden had one of the lowest levels of gun crimes in Europe. But as per reports, now Sweden is the second highest. In Stockholm, gun violence is roughly 30 times that of London. In a lot of these crimes, immigrants are seen to be involved. And what Sweden is going through is called by some of its neighbors the Swedish condition.
That's crazy. That's
now
insane.
A large number of the refugee population is dependent on state to survive. This is a huge burden, even on the economy of a wealthy country like Sweden.
The growing housing shortage is predicted to affect more than 500,000 Swedes. Some are blaming immigrants for these issues.
Is there a storm coming for Sweden, Jens?
I would say that we've been through tough times.
Central banks are predicting that there will be a slowdown. This is, of course, a concern.
And to make matters worse, Sweden is in the middle of a recession. Swedish growth has stagnated over the past 2 years, and GDP declined in the second quarter of 2024. So it is not a surprise that the voices against immigration are getting stronger. And also, some, including Indians, are leaving of their own volition because of a lack of the kind of opportunities which once drew them in. All these factors combined have resulted in a change in the overall migration policy.
That's wild. Just to see the crime rates rise so quickly over the span of a decade, from one of the lowest to second highest, to see these scenes is absolutely scary. And then, like I said about the system, Sweden just can't support that many people. The nation can't support that many people. But then They're already in a recession. It's bad. They're down bad.
As of August 2024, Sweden's migration policy is undergoing a shift with the goal of reducing the number of irregular migrants, stopping labor, immigration fraud, and addressing the shadow society. And now the Swedes are planning to expel those without legal rights to stay in Sweden. As per more recent reports, the Swedish government is even considering a unique initiative that would offer financial incentives for foreign-born Swedish passport holders to immigrate. According to a news report by the National News, this proposal could extend the current voluntary exit scheme, which offers 10,000 Swedish crowns, approximately $960, and travel costs to leave the country. Have you been planning to move abroad for work or to settle down? Which countries are you considering and why? Was Sweden also on your list? Don't forget to share your thoughts with us in the comment section. It will help us make more such videos. Please don't forget to like and share this video and to subscribe to The Mint.
That video is crazy just to learn about everything that's going on in Sweden. It's no wonder that Indians are fleeing, and not just Indians, but people from different countries as well are starting to flee out of Sweden. You got the gang wars, you got the no-go zones, you got the crime rate, you got the recession, you got the Sweden's immigration policy starting to change. There's just so much going on in Sweden right now that it's just kind of down bad at the moment. And it's not the place that once was that immigrants wanted to migrate to, that you saw opportunity, that they saw such great things. Now it's more opportunistic to get out of Sweden, which is absolutely crazy to think about. But let me know what you guys think about that video. Have you been to Sweden? Do any of you watching, have you fled from Sweden? Have you moved out of Sweden? Have you ever lived in Sweden? And you can relate, and these conditions are absolutely spot on. I'd be very intrigued to learn. But that's all we have for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and then check out the next video. I'll see you guys there.